back from the dead.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Rapid Chats with Angus once again. I'm your host Angus Opperman as per usual, and again I'll be looking towards this weekend's lineup of Super Rugby. I will be looking towards the Blitzboks squad that will be playing in Los Angeles, and I'll also be covering a bit of Six Nations, not too much, we'll just touch on it, basically predictions. So yes, the first match we have this weekend is a big one. It's in New Zealand, it's a New Zealand derby. And we will see the defending champion Crusaders at home against the Highlanders, who got a win in the dying seconds of the match last week against the Brumbies. So, a couple of notes that I've made here. The first one is that, Mitch Hunt at his new club, or his new franchise, the Highlanders, will be playing against his former teammates, the Crusaders. And the irony here is that 2 years ago, he actually slotted a drop goal to win the game for the Crusaders against the Highlanders in extra time or in referee time. It was a brilliant drop goal out of nowhere, and I think for a couple of weeks he was called clutch because he clutched to win for them. It was brilliant, but now this time around he will be in the opposition jersey for the Crusaders. So will he know some inside stuff? I'm not sure, because I've got the Crusaders by 16, so I'm not too sure about that. But otherwise, I think that this match it's going to be closer than 16, I guess, but I just went 60 when I looked at the team lineups and how the Crusaders performed against the Blues last week, how clinical they were. And as good as the Highlanders were to win the match at the end, I don't think they have the strike power to actually get one over the defending champions in their own backyard. So another note I've made here is that there will be no Scott Barrett. I'm not sure if he's injured or not, or is it just all black protocol rest. And also Karisi Kurendrani, which is the brother of Tevita Kurendrani. He'll be playing on the right wing. And the former Blue, Michael Collins, will be playing at fullback. So that's an interesting shift for the Highlanders. And basically the match stats are like this. They've played 28 against each other over the course of the last 25 years since the competition's inception in 1996. The Highlanders only won 9. And then the Crusaders have won 19. That's quite a good stat. So should the Crusaders get those won this weekend, they'll have 20 victories over the Highlanders, which is quite impressive. And the last time the Highlanders actually beat the Crusaders were in 2018. It was 25 points to 19. And I don't see this happening because that was at Forsyth Park Stadium and not in Christchurch. So I don't see this one happening. So I'll gladly go Crusaders by 16. Up next, we have the Rebels against the Sharks. I've said Sharks by 11. It could be more, it could be less. I'm not too sure if that's the right call, to be honest. I'm sure about the Sharks, but I'm not sure about the margin so much. I did quite well last weekend, actually. I got 6 out of 7. If it wasn't for the Highlanders, I would have gotten full house energy SP on SuperBru. But you can't win them all, I guess. So just a few notes here is that there will be no Reece Hodge and no Matt Moore for the Rebels. And that's probably 2 of the best players on their books, both internationals, both seasoned internationals for the Wallabies. That's why I say the Sharks can even win by more than 11, to be honest. It can be 15 to 20, but I'm a bit conservative. It is a tour game, so I'll go Sharks by 11 only. Sanele Nohamba will start for the Sharks at number 9, so Lewis Curry effectively go to the bench. So a very exciting opportunity for the live wire scrum half, the junior Springbok that set alive the under-20 tournament in 2019. Cohen Bosch is back after his trip back to South Africa for I think it was his mother's death. And Andre Esterhuizen will be the captain, no Lucanio Am. I'm not too sure if he's injured or not. I've tried to find some information, but I couldn't find anything. So Andre Esterhuizen will be the captain in the absence of Lucanio Am. That's basically the prediction for the Rebels and the Sharks. The stats read they played 7. There was 5 wins for the Sharks, 1 for the Rebels, and that dire 9-all draw in Durban. I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm actually glad I didn't watch that game till this day. It's been 3 years later and a 9-all draw in Super Rugby. Gotta be kidding me. I think on beto.co.za sometimes they have this bet that both teams will be under 10 points and the odds are so high. If I took a bet that day, I would have been rich today, but okay. Hey, you never know what can happen, eh? But when you do take those bets, you tend to lose. Anyway, it's an rugby talk show, not a betting talk show. So up next, let me just double check. We will have the Chiefs up against the Brumbies. So the news broke this week that there was a mumps outbreak in the Brumbies camp. and some of the guys weren't able to train. Some were left out of their touring squad. And there are some changes to the Brumbies team. They still look formidable, but I'll go Chiefs by 8. Warren Gatland is a very cunning and very smart coach, so I think this Chiefs will go 4-4. And yeah, they could be on top of the log after this weekend and be probably the only unbeaten team or one of 2 unbeaten teams, but we'll see how that pans out. So Luke Jacobson is back for the Chiefs. He will play at number 6 from his concussion. And Tetoroi Turiarangi, I hope I spelled his name or I pronounced his name right, because I don't remember a couple of years ago Steve Hansen called him Triple T and he got quite a bit of flack for it, so I'm trying to pronounce the guys' names right. You know, I'm South African and the Maori names aren't always that easy. So he starts in place of Brad Weber. He won't be playing, Brad Weber. I think also it's a all by protocol thing because I don't think he's injured. And Lisati, let me just get his name right. Name's right, very important. Lisati Milo Harris will make his debut off the bench, potentially for the Chiefs at scrum half. Sam McNichol gets a start, so I guess that Warren Gatland does bring in the rotation to keep his guys fresh, because Stevenson has played, Wainui has played. Yeah, and obviously he's been rotating his outside backs quite a bit, so it's good to see that everyone gets a bit of a run on. Yeah, it's Eero Simone, he overcame illness. I think it's the mumps, and he will start for the Brumbies at inside centre. And well, for Inge, the prolific hooker try scorer. Okay, most of them from driving mauls, but nonetheless, they all count. He's up with a toe injury, so he's replaced by, let's just get the name here quickly, by Cornel McElnelny. I think that's his name. I tried to pronounce this one, but it's also a name that's a bit hard on the tongue. And then Andy Muirhead is on the wing. And Tony Pulu will play off the bench against the Chiefs, against his former teammates who he played for. So yeah, that's basically the prediction for the Brumbies and the Chiefs. The stats, it does read that they've played 12 matches over the 25 years of Super Rugby. The Chiefs have won 7, the Brumbies won 5, so very close to call. There's not much in it. They've contested the final once in 2013, which the Chiefs have won. I think it was 26 points to 22 or 28 to 22. So yeah, that was a long time ago. So again, I think we're in for a classic here if both sides can pitch up and do the business on the day. And then we have a game that's not that important to me personally, and I don't think very important to you guys as well, because it's a bit of a you can actually get the sense that these two sides will be in the bottom 5 of the tournament at the end of the tournament round. So yeah, we have the Reds against the Sunwolves. I said the Reds by 5, although the Sunwolves have upset them, and I think the score was 66-23. It was in Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they have played 5 only in the short time that the Sunwolves have been in the competition. The Reds won 4, the Sunwolves won. That big upset. The Reds have an unchanged starting 15, and JJ Engelbrecht is back for the Rebels. For the Sunwolves at number 13. So he will start at outside centre. I think the last time he played was on the wing for the Sunwolves. And also Garth April is at 10. Viti Page will playing off the bench. But that's basically all you need to know, to be honest. So let's go on to the next one. And then we have the big one in Cape Town, the Stormers up against the Aguares. I said Stormers by 7. Again, it could be way more, it could be less. It could even be Aguares winning. It all depends on what happens on the day, obviously, because both teams are quite good. It's an important one for both teams in a conference sense, because whoever will win that one will top the conference. And also it could be very important for the Stormers, because if they win that one, and they could also top the log depending on what happens in Hamilton. So basically, a couple of things is that Frans Malherbe will be starting again. He'll be in the number 3 jersey. So Okolo will be back on the bench. However, when he will come on, I think it's not a case of if he will, because he is a front row forward. They're expected to come on after 60 minutes of play. He will be earning his 50th cap for the Stormers. So well done to Wilco on that milestone. And yeah, the Voshianki's back, so I think they missed him last week at Alice Park. You know, they came back well in that match, you know, after being ahead and then trailing and then coming back again. You know, it was characters shown, but apparently the Stormers, according to the coach, have not been firing on all cylinders. So they can click. This is quite good. And I'm saying this because they have a mean loose trio. I'm very old school. I believe that your number 6 who play towards the ball, you should be a hard grafting man. number 7 to be the more mobile one, but also be a hard grafter who could carry, and number 8 should just be very dominant. They have it now. They have Augustus at 8, they have Vitoy at 7, and they have Yakukutsi at number 6. That is a damn good loose trio. And if that front 5 can get some ascendancy or even dominance, that loose trio will have, and I'm saying this in a very respectful way, they will have a jaw, honestly. So, yeah, the Aguaris pack has not been renowned, especially Argentina, for the last season or two to be strong. Usually Argentinian rugby has been affiliated with, a strong pack and not great packs. Now it's the other way around. So let's see what happens. Storms could win by more or maybe by less, but we'll have to see. Other stuff is that Jade Schikkeling will be starting at number 5, so Chris van Zyl will be relegating to the bench. Ernst van Rijn is on the bench, so they'll be opting for a 6-2 split again. And the other thing that's super concerning for the Stormers, I would think, is the Aguaris back 3. So they have, I think it's Pofeli at 15, Del Guy on the left or on the right wing, and Cancellieri on the left wing. That's a formidable back 3 to have, but obviously that's all dependent on their front or their pack for that matter. If the pack can give them some ascendancy to work with, then they'll be fine, but that back 3 won't fire if their pack won't dominate. The stats are that I've played 6, the Stormers have won 4, the Aguaris 2. Aguaris has never won the Stormers at Newlands, so I think that's a good omen for the Stormers. The only 2 losses Stormers had was away to them last season by 5 points only. And I think they got a proper beating 2 years ago. But that's basically the match in Cape Town. And then we have the last match of the day, I think, will be the Bulls against the Blues. So, put the He-Man, I'm not sure, to be honest, what his plans are. The season stats or the stats for the 2 teams are they have played 22, the Blues have won 13, the Bulls have won 7, there's been 2 draws. So, historically, the Blues have been the better team between the 2. I've gone with the Bulls by 7, they're at home. For one, it's the first home match, so I would give them the home advantage. They are playing on the high field. The Blues fitness levels might be an issue for them. So I'll go with the home team there by 7. And also the Blues team is not out yet, or at least at the point in time when I was doing these notes, I haven't seen the Blues team, so it's kind of hard to comment. But the only change is that Abugila Nontonkwana, he'll be on the bench, and Vian Forster will come in the number 7 jumper. And also the other stuff is that milestones for Johnny Kotze and Jaco Visagie. They'll play 50 matches in Super Rugby. Johnny Kotze, I think he got a fair amount for the Stormers a couple of years ago before he moved to the Bulls. So it's not all for the Bulls. Jaco Visagie, however, has played all his 50 matches in Super Rugby for the Bulls. So well done to them on that milestone. And that's basically Super Rugby in a nutshell. Up next, we will be going to the Blitzboks team that will be competing in Los Angeles. So that's going to be up next. And basically a few things to note is that Werner Kok will be reaching 50 tournaments. So well done, Veris. Good work. Rand Oosthuizen, Kurtley Arendse and Mfundo Ndlovu will be the 13th man, the back reserve. They are all back in the team. And the team looks like this. So number 1, Angelo Davids. 2, Ryan Oosthuizen. 3, MP Visser. 4, Sako Makata. 5, Werner Kok. 6, JC Pretorius. 7, Branko du Preez. 8, Salvin Davids. 9, Kurtley Arendse. 10, South Africa. 11, Miller du Plessis. 12, Stedman Gans. And 13, and the reserve is Mfundo Ndlovu. And they'll be playing in Pool B along with Ireland, Canada and Kenya. And luckily for, I think, many fans or for the whole tournament, quarterfinals are back. So no straight to the semi-finals when you can lose. You can actually afford to lose a pool game now. So that's good, I think, for all the teams. And I think the main objective for the Blitzboks this weekend is to narrow the gap on New Zealand. They have done it in the previous tournament. But they'll still want to narrow that gap and get back to number 1. So that's basically the Blitzboks news for the weekend. And then lastly, Six Nations. It's Italy up against Scotland. I'll say Scotland by 10. I'm not going to discuss this in depth. I'm not a big Six Nations fan, to be honest. And then Wales, I think they only get by 2 against France, only because they're playing at home. The French have been looking good. Apparently there's been a win crisis for the French, but they like to play their mind games. And lastly, we have England against Ireland, a very tough one to pick. I went home advantage again, England by 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ireland can pull the upset. So yeah, that's basically the predictions for the weekend and some news that I can share with you guys at the point in time. So yeah, I'll be back on Sunday, obviously. I'll talk to you guys again about the weekend's action. I'll be going to Newlands, obviously, as per usual, to watch the Stormers in the Aguares. I hope they have a good time there, and hopefully my boys can pull it through. And hopefully your boys can pull it through as well, whoever you may support. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to say the ritual again. You have to like, you have to subscribe, and you have to share. And also drop a comment on your thoughts as well. You know, it's good to get feedback, and I'll gladly respond to you either in video in the next segment, or I'll reply to you personally on the YouTube channel. So yeah, guys and girls, thanks for tuning in again. Much love for you all, and cheers. See you Sunday.